Warm reminder to watch this video. A coin is required to watch. Of course, you can also watch for free without a coin. The Holy Maiden of the Jade Pool personally invites Yi Fan out of seclusion to attend the Jade Pool Grand Gathering. And seriously, the Jade Pool Sacred Land will protect Yi Fan thoroughly. The knights left behind by the Queen Mother of the West and Master Yuan Tianchi Zhonglin can no longer be sealed, requires supreme skill. Yuanshu Fengjing, the Yuanshu Valley family and Yin clan, the entire Wang lineage has been invited into the Jade Pool. Yi Fan inquires how the Holy Maiden of the Jade Pool found him. The Holy Maiden tells Yi Fan she feared he might not come to the appointment, therefore, she left a trace of a mark in the last emotional bond. So, you can find Yi Fan anytime. The Jade Pool Sacred Land has always remained aloof from worldly affairs. They hardly participate in the power struggles among Eastern great forces, among the competing factions. Therefore, Yi Fan feels relatively assured about the Jade Pool Sacred Land. He did not take this matter to heart either. Ultimately, Yi Fan set out on the road to the Jade Pool. The Holy Maiden of the Jade Pool personally accompanied them all the way. Nowadays, masters from all over the world dare to come and compete. This is a truly legitimate sacred soul gathering, not to mention those long famous peerless figures. But the younger generation's lineup is also extremely strong. Yao Guang, the Holy Sun, and the Ji family's divine king body, as well as the Holy Maiden of Zifu, Eastern Wilderness. Almost all the young Holy Sons and Holy Maidens have arrived. In addition, there are Zhongzhou's Wang Chongshao and Yu Hulin, as well as young prodigies like the Twin Kings, Yu Wang. Yi Fan's appearance instantly caused a huge stir. No one expected him to have slain many powerful opponents overnight. Moreover, he even defeated two great holy sons in succession. Yi Fan actually dared to attend the Jade Pool Grand Gathering. Afterwards, they saw the accompanying Holy Maiden of the Jade Pool, and understood everything. Yi Fan must have been personally invited by the Holy Maiden of the Jade Pool. On the very day Yi Fan and the others entered the Jade Pool, a fierce roar came from the Jade Pool Immortal Emperor's realm. A peerless master was chasing a golden light. Yi Fan saw clearly that golden light was the battle Saint Yuan he had cut out all along. He did not know why that monkey would also appear here. Yi Fan's residence, Hengyejing, is located in a purple bamboo forest, accompanied by a clear little lake outside the house. He Huang disappeared without a trace upon arriving here. He claimed to be enjoying the scenery with little Nan Nan, but no one knew what he was really up to. It was only known that He Huang kept hinting to others, asking where the Jade Pool's peach garden was located, even drooling almost uncontrollably. The Jade Pool's peach garden is world famous. It is an extremely renowned spiritual root in the Eastern Wilderness. Ordinary people can extend their lifespan by many years with just one bite of the peach flesh. And this spiritual root is also very meaningful for cultivation. Ordinary people can extend their lifespan by many years just by eating a bite of peach flesh. And this spiritual root is also very significant for cultivation. Wu Zhongshan heard his grandfather mention it before. There is an ancient tree in the Jade Pool. It is the most precious thing beneath the elixir of immortality. It is said that the ancient tree was brought out from the Divine Ruins. Divine Ruins is one of the 7 major life forbidden zones in the Eastern Wasteland, alongside the Undying Mountain and the Taichu Valley Mine. It is located in the western part of the Eastern Wasteland, shrouded in mystery and unfathomable. Legend has it that it holds the artistic conception left by the divine. There are even records claiming there is an unfallen southern heavenly gate. The towering sky is vast and seemingly endless. It is a forbidden zone of life, where one can enter but never leave. No one has ever been able to explore its reverse path. Countless millennia have passed, and the world has undergone great changes. Yet the divine ruins remain unchanged. The legendary Undying Peach Tree takes root within the divine ruins. It is only a little over 1 meter tall, and in 10,000 years it can only bear 2 or 3 peaches. Over 100,000 years ago, a sage from the Jade Pool once entered the divine ruins. He barely survived, but eventually came out. Although he did not bring out the Undying Peach Tree, he did bring back a seed of the peach immortal medicine. The Jade Pool is well known to the world, as it holds the power to command the dragon roar of the world. All the saintly emperors who refine medicine come here to seek water. It is known as a divine pool of its own. After the sage returned from the divine ruins, he planted the seed of the peach immortal medicine in a barrel. Every day he irrigated it with the divine spring water of the Jade Pool. Eventually, it took root and sprouted. There has never been an immortal medicine that can produce a second generation. They are all unique and one of a kind. But the jade pool, nourished by divine spring water, created a miracle. However, all immortals and true beings in the world are unparalleled. In the end, they are difficult to coexist. The peach tree of the jade pool, except for the first fruit it bore, which is equivalent to half a piece of immortal medicine, the fruits that followed cannot be compared. It can be called the number one spiritual medicine under heaven, but it cannot be called immortal medicine, because this kind of peach fruit can only help powerful cultivators extend their lifespan by over 1,000 years, and this effect only existed before the Wasteland Valley. Since 90,000 years ago, the spiritual energy of the entire pool has greatly diminished, and watering it no longer has such a great effect. Moreover, the jade pool, for some reason, abandoned its original location and relocated here. Although by defying the heavens, the root of the immortal pool was also moved over. It was already severely depleted of vitality. Nowadays, the peach fruit of the jade pool can at most extend a cultivator's lifespan by 500 years. Yifan thought of the old site of the jade pool. He once fought with He Huang to obtain the western gold, and had seen that immortal pool in one breath. I have seen that immortal pool filled with a single breath. The bottom of the lake was covered with corpses everywhere. To this day, I still can't figure out what happened. They knew for sure that He Huang was searching for the panda fruit. Half an hour later, He Huang returned carrying little Nan Nan. He looked listless and lacked any spirit. Seeing him like this, several people breathed a sigh of relief. Yifan asked him where he had been. He Huang stubbornly insisted he was just sightseeing. But little Nan Nan said He Huang went to steal and escape, and got caught and was driven out. He Huang started cursing and grumbling. He said if that monkey hadn't gotten there first, it would have been a surprise attack. The people of Yaoqi definitely wouldn't have been able to stop him. He also said the immortal Pandao tree has been controlled by the Does on Chengyuan lineage since ancient times. That monkey didn't dare go to the divine realm. It had to find the real immortal Pandao tree. That's why it came here to stir up trouble and compete with him. Yifan and the others had been at Yaoqi for several days, but the grand event had not yet started. It seemed some important figures had not yet arrived. Except for some special areas, they were quite free. Their movements were not restricted. They roamed around this land to observe. Little Nan Nan tugged at Yufan's sleeve, telling him there was a monkey in the distance. Yufan blinked and looked carefully. He saw a very strong young man standing not far away. Yifan used his divine eye to see his true form. It was the Does on Chengyuan he had extracted from the clock. His body was covered in golden fur, with fiery golden eyes. He had changed his appearance skillfully. Yifan knew this was a tough character. Though still not fully grown as an ancient royal, he already vaguely had the power to dominate the Great Alliance. Yifan was surprised to find a senior elder of Yaoqi politely escorted the monkey out, clearly having noticed something, but did not ask why. The holy prince asked Yifan if he recognized him. He had taken human form. His voice was very young, not speaking the ancient language, but human speech. Yifan nodded quietly and looked at him. The Does on Chengyuan was extracted from the 7th generation by him. There was a strong karmic connection between them. Yifan asked if he wasn't afraid humans would kill him. The holy prince said the heavens and earth, the ancient races are about to revive. If humans kill him, in the future, there will surely be the downfall of the ancient ancestral kings. He and the others from Jianghui also knew. This was the same Does on Shenyuan who once caused chaos in the divine city. They asked the holy prince why he came here. The holy prince told them he wanted the ancient Pandao tree from Yaoqi to save someone. He spoke directly about his reason, wanting to use the Pandao ancient tree from the jade pool to save someone. He straightforwardly stated the reason. He did not hide anything. He even said he knew Yufan had a killing seed on him. If Yufan gave it to him, he would repay Yufan a great favor in the future. Hearing this, Yufan's heart stirred. This monkey was very unusual. His physique was special. Once he activated the heavenly palace, even Yufan's vigorous blood would boil. Although Yifan didn't understand the cause and effect, he didn't want to let go, hoping to befriend this monkey. Soon, they started talking. The atmosphere was fairly harmonious. Yifan tactfully said the Kirin seeds were all gone, but there were other divine items that could be used instead. The holy prince spoke up. He had spoken with the people of the Yaoqi sacred land. If he could nourish a piece with his Taigu king's blood for 1 month of death, Yaoqi would agree to give him a Pandao divine medicine, and he needed Yufan's yuan tree to help, to infuse the king's blood into the Lion King. This was not very difficult. Yufan nodded in agreement. Afterwards, their group went to meet the elders of Yaoqi. Yuan, the inheritor of the Heavenly Master and Dozan Sheng Yuan connected remotely. Yaoqi treated them with great respect. Several supreme elders personally received them. The leftover maidens of Yaoqi also accompanied them. One supreme elder of Yaoqi said, "This stone was very special, very different from other lion kings. They did not want to seal it, but hoped to nurture life from it." The leftover maiden of Yaoqi led the way. Accompanied by several supreme elders of Yaoqi, they were brought to the immortal pool of the Yaoqi sacred land. This was also the origin of the name Yaoqi sacred land. The holy prince, to save the divine silkworm princess, used his ancient royal blood without hesitation, to exchange for the Pandao holy maiden of Yaoqi sacred land. By the Yaoqi immortal pool stood an ancient tree, pure and clear like a cage. Its trunk stretched tens of meters toward the sky. Rooted beside the immortal pool, lush and verdant, several fragrant fruits hung from its branches. Their scent made one's pores open wide, clearly a peerless medicinal treasure. The immortal Pandao tree in the divine void was only about 1 meter tall, but this tree, though so tall, had grown for over 100,000 years, yet still could not compare to the immortal kill of Pandao. Under the ancient Pandao tree was a crystal-clear stone, with 9 orifices and 8 holes absorbing the essence of sun and moon. When Yufan and the others arrived here, there were already several figures beneath the tree. One of them Yufan recognized. It was Yi, who was very close to the origin realm. Back in the divine city, it was this old fellow who recognized him, which gave him the killing fire. Yi also looked over at Yufan. His eyes were uncertain and unclear. It was unknown what he was thinking. A faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth, full of meaning. Yufan really hated Yuan Shu. He had no soul for the ancient noble family, but Yi's murderous intent toward Yifan was sensed by the holy prince. He said, Yi dared to emit killing intent toward his friend. Then he directly extended a golden hand, reaching forward to grab. Yi's face immediately changed. He had long cultivated the heavenly eye. Naturally, he saw through the monkey's true form. Dexy was a giant bird in the hearts of the ancient royal family. Ancient creatures were always linked to the Lion Mountain Blood Sea. They were once the absolute rulers of this land. Because of their withdrawal, the human race began to flourish, especially the victories of the battle warriors. They were the royal family at the very top of the pyramid. How terrifying their combat power was, no one could clearly explain. But Yi could not sit idly by. He quickly activated the Circle Heaven Divine Tree to resist the steps in the Jade Pool. Even more powerful, endless ley lines and dragon artifacts were all under his control. Unfortunately, he still could not withstand the Holy Prince's golden hand. Yi's body trembled. He spat out a large mouthful of fresh blood on the spot, then was grabbed firmly in the palm by the Holy Prince. The Supreme Elder of the Jade Pool hurriedly pleaded, "Please let go, monkey." Yuan Shu, the master of the ancient poetic family, was invited by them. He couldn't just be killed like this. The monkey applied a little force, breaking many of Yi's ribs, then threw him to the ground like a dead dog. Paying no further attention, Yi was filled with rage. Turning to leave the immortal pool, he no longer wanted to stand alongside the monkey. Before leaving, he again emitted killing intent. It was sensed by the Holy Prince. His fiery golden eyes shot out to beams of divine light, warning Yi's back, preparing to strike again. This time, the Supreme Elder of the Jade Pool hurriedly intervened to stop it. Yifan also spoke up, telling the Holy Prince not to bother with them. The Holy Prince acted on his behalf. Naturally, he should sincerely express his gratitude. The ancient peach tree was 161 feet tall. More than a dozen people couldn't even wrap their arms around it. The old bark cracked all over, like huge dragon scales. It had grown for over 100,000 years. Although the trunk was very thick, compared to its age, it was nothing. The peaches on it were not very large. The black and yellow ones were the worst. Saliva kept swallowing down. If there weren't a few supreme elders here, he would probably have taken the entire ancient tree away. Next was the Holy Prince. He carefully rotated. Although he wasn't scratching his head, he still seemed a bit restless, as if wanting to climb up the tree. Even in ancient times, there were only 2 or 3 battle saint origins. Therefore, the peach tree was under their control. He had eaten a real Pandao peach back then. The Holy Prince took a long time to calm down. Feeling deeply moved, he began to speak of the changes over time, how the once vibrant northern domain had become a barren wasteland. Everything that once existed was gone. Even the immortal Pandao tree had already vanished into the divine void. The strange crystal-clear stone under the ancient tree shimmered with flowing colors, absorbing the essence of sun and moon, as if it were alive. Its black and yellow light was profound, showing an expression like never before. He asked about the Yaoqi Holy Land, wondering if they intended to cultivate a holy spirit. Then he said they were playing with fire. If a holy spirit were born, unless the Western Queen Mother of Yaoqi did not give birth, otherwise, the Yaoqi Holy Land would face great disaster. The Yaoqi Holy Land naturally knew this, but there were some truths they could not reveal. A supreme elder said this was a kind gesture, but the Black Emperor simply did not believe there were kind-hearted holy lands in this world. He said that once a holy land did the same thing, and ended up utterly destroyed. If it weren't for the intervention of the Emperor Wuxi, who struck down that holy spirit, no one knew what catastrophic disaster would have occurred. Hearing this, Yufan's heart stirred. No wonder the black and yellow showed such an expression. Upon seeing this stone, unexpectedly, such a major event happened in the distant past. The Supreme Elder of Yaoqi said that this had long been respected by ancient sages, who in their later years taught him scriptures and doctrines. The Supreme Elder of Yaoqi revealed this information, but did not continue further. The Black Emperor said that this kind of Holy Spirit, connecting clever humans across past and present, was even more mysterious. He found it hard to let go of this thought, but also didn't want to say much more. The Holy Prince was unruly. Speaking very directly, he said no matter what kind of Holy Spirit it was, if it caused trouble in the future, he would smash it with a single stick. The few supreme elders of Yaoqi were somewhat speechless, yet they couldn't argue, because they needed the monkey's essence to nourish this Lion King stone. Naturally, Yufan didn't say much either. The ancient Yaoqi had touched the earth, knowing much, and surely had its own considerations. He has no reason to stop it. The Holy Prince cut his wrist. Fresh red blood flowed out. Every drop of blood was like a divine furnace. Yufan took action and circulated energy. The celestial tree slid continuously over the energy pool, imprinting mysterious and unfathomable patterns, weaving a complex design. After the Holy Prince's blood dripped down, it quickly penetrated inside, absorbed by the 9 orifices and 8 holes. Lion King. He trembled. The speed of inhaling and exhaling the essence of heaven and earth increased. Black and yellow eyelids twitched. He took several big steps backward. Yufan asked when this Holy Spirit would be born. The Yaoqi saint. The woman told them that barring any accidents, it would be in 5,000 years. Li Haishui and a few people from Jianghua exchanged glances. This news was truly astonishing. If a Holy Spirit is born, it will be an unsurpassed existence. Would the major sacred lands tolerate it coming into this world? Obviously, other sacred lands already know this news. Otherwise, Yaoqi wouldn't have allowed Yufan and the others to come here. With Haishui and Niu Ku, the few discussed Yufan and Shen Nian. They would have long been buried in the yellow earth 5,000 years later. But Yufan is currently at his peak. By then, they will most likely have a life-or-death battle with this Holy Spirit. It's better to strike and eliminate him now. This time period is too sensitive. No one knows what will happen in the future. He Wang said he now somewhat believes it. A major event comparable to the Shameless Era is about to come. Besides the rise of various kings, holy spirits comparable to the great emperor will be born. Even the ancient royal clans will return. In the future, to dominate the world, one must have battle power that defies heaven. The Holy Prince was not stingy. He released a lot of blood from his wrist. 9 orifices, 7 feet, will absorb all the remaining blood that fell down completely. His vitality surged greatly. Trembling continuously, little Non saw the night's crystal shining brightly. She really wanted to get closer to look. She asked if she could touch this night. He Huang's heart stirred. The group leader quickly agreed. Little Non stretched out her small hand, gently touched the night with 9 orifices and 8 holes. The entire night suddenly seemed startled. Then little Non's small hand pressed against the Stone King. Suddenly, radiant light overflowed. Endless divine light surged up. The Supreme Elder of Yaoqi tried to stop it, but was pushed away by the divine light. At this moment, the 7 masters of the 9 orifices and 8 holes were spewing out. Amazement flowed into little Non's arm. The light of the 9 orifices and 7 masters was red and sacred, like strands of silk strings, connecting to little Non's pink, clenched arm. The essence of the Lion King flowed and fully permeated inside. Several supreme elders of the Jade Pool tried to stop it, but were all pushed out by a barrier of light, unable to get close at all. Everyone was anxious and uneasy. They worked together, trying to pull little Nan Nan away. To remove the Lion King's threat, Yifan was also very worried. He quickly stepped forward, but when he touched the light barrier, he was pushed back as well, unable to approach. The Supreme Elders of the Jade Pool asked Yifan if there was any way to make the little girl let go, but little Nan Nan said the stone had bitten onto her hand, unable to pull it away. The Supreme Elders of the Jade Pool grew more anxious. If the little girl didn't let go soon, the essence of the Nine-Orifice Lion King might be completely drained. Someone among them was going to ask the Queen Mother of the West for help. They might even summon a trace of supreme sacred power. When He Huang heard they were going to use supreme earthly soldiers, he immediately jumped up, claiming he had a solution, then stepped forward to guide little Nan Nan. With He Huang's help, little Nan Nan broke free from the Nine-Orifice Lion King of the Jade Pool sacred land. After the Nine-Orifice Lion King was freed, it fled like a frightened old rabbit, transforming into a divine light, refusing to come out of the Doomsday Immortal Pool again. Meanwhile, little Nan Nan soared into the sky, emitting endless radiant light. She ascended like the midday sun into the purple haze, opening a path, as if entering a mysterious world. Suddenly, a sharp, rushing fiber descended, like the 9 layers of the heavens pressing down. Everyone present was frozen in place. Little Nan Nan fell down because of it. Unable to continue flying, Yifan's whole body glowed golden. Blood energy surged wildly, barely sending out the mother Che of all things to protect him. Wu Dongshan and Zhang Huai Ren Niu Ku and others all knew. This must be the newly forged Supreme Dao Emperor weapon, the Western Emperor Tower. The Western Emperor Tower, also called the Immortal Class Tower. This strand of Supreme Dao fiber suppressed everything. No one could resist it. Not even the holy lords and powerful figures could stop it. Normally, the Western Emperor Tower is not activated. The 9 ministers naturally form it, becoming an unsurpassed great Dao, suppressing the entire world, solid as metal and stone. While Yu Fan and the others were shocked by the terror of the Western Emperor Tower, several Supreme Elders of the Jade Pool fixed their gaze on little Nan Nan, watching her closely without pause. The Nine-Orifice Lion King had not been fundamentally harmed. The 9 Orifices Lion King was not fundamentally injured. This made the people of the Jade Pool breathe a sigh of relief. At the same time, they were shocked by Zinan Nan's identity and it was obvious from his arrival that he was no ordinary child. Yifan and the others exhaled as they left the immortal pool. Fortunately, the people of the Yaoqi sacred land were calm in mind. They didn't hold any grudges, but the Black Emperor remained deeply troubled by that sacred spirit stone platform, fearing it might one day bring chaos to the world. Zhang Huai said indifferently, "It doesn't concern us anyway. Their weapons had long turned to dust years ago." Hearing such words, Yifan felt a unique sense of loss for the first time. 5,000 years later, he was at his peak, but barring accidents, all his friends would have long since passed away. Even the sacred lords and figures could only live for about 2,000 years. If Yifan could reach full cultivation, he could live for 10,000 years. In the future, he could only watch helplessly as Li Haishui waited for people to die. The Yaoqi sacred land was vast, covering a large area. They passed through a range of spiritual mountains. Ahead was a swamp. Several golden lights were flickering in the muddy pond, and a few elders were watching. The black and yellow figures jumped up and down, extremely excited. He said these dragon eels were treasures for refining medicine, far more precious than spiritual herbs thousands of years old. Unexpectedly, there were 3 dragon eels in the Yaoqi sacred land, each only about 1 foot long, resembling true dragons. But in fact, they were a type of loach. Their bodies were golden yellow, leaping in the swamp, radiating spiritual energy. Every drop of their essence was priceless. Near the swamp were several elders, all extraordinary in bearing. Even the sacred princes felt a bit tense upon seeing them, clearly regarding them as worthy opponents in a life-or-death battle. Wu Zhongshan spoke up, saying there was one who seemed to be the Queen Mother of the West from Yaoqi. One of the women looked no older than 36, beautiful and dignified, with a serene expression, a small red mark on her forehead, and eyes like water, giving a very peaceful feeling. Beside her were 3 elders, each extraordinary. One wore golden feathered robes, as if about to ascend to immortality. Another was dressed in purple, surrounded by swirling purple energy, priceless and noble. The last appeared ethereal and intangible, like a wisp of mist blending into the great Tao of heaven and earth. The elder in golden feathered robes nodded to Yifan, saying that a sacred field had rarely appeared in this world. The Queen Mother of the West spoke to Yifan, saying these were Zhuang Zhou's predecessors, and awaited the golden-feathered elder's question to Yifan. Are you willing to go to Zhangjiang to cultivate? Yifan was puzzled. He didn't understand why the elder said that. The Queen Mother of the West said the Night Academy was about to reopen. For Yifan, this was a rare opportunity. Yifan didn't know much about this Night Academy. After all, he wasn't from this world. He had never heard of it. But several people from Kelly Hai Shui Jianghua were extremely surprised, because the Night Academy only opens once every 10,000 years, and only those of Saint Sun level can enter. It is the sacred place where kings grow and train. Every time the Night Academy opens, it selects the strongest group of young people from the Big Dipper's 5 prisons, and each sacred land can only send at most a people. He Huang asked Yifan to agree with them. He said the Night Academy might be related to the accident. Moreover, all the major saint sons and saint maidens, as well as various clans, will enter. Those ancient legacies will all be sent to the Night Academy. There are definitely huge benefits. In the end, Yifan still refused the Night Academy's offer. He said, although he longed for the Night Academy, now that Tai had self-severed. He Huang was the first to get anxious about cultivation. He looked like he was frustrated and disappointed. Secretly transmitting sound, Yifan asked if he really wouldn't go. He also said it might be related to the accident, even related to the Ziwei Star Jade. Didn't Yifan want to take a look? Yifan asked him. Had the 5 Histories Emperor ever been to the Night Academy? He Huang said throughout history. How many people were like the 5 Histories Emperor? Although the 5 Histories Emperor never entered the Night Academy to cultivate, he ultimately broke in and obtained everything he wanted. Yifan no longer paid attention to He Huang. He felt a sense of crisis. He wanted to disappear from the eyes of the world for a while. Yifan just wanted to find a place to focus on cultivation and keep cultivating until he reached the Saint Lord realm. Now he wanted ancient and modern things, and sacred artifacts if possible. He felt there was no need to discriminate. Only by reaching the Saint Lord realm could one dominate the world. Yifan refused to enter the Night Academy. This surprised the elderly man in the golden raincoat, because the Night Academy only opens once every 10,000 years. Its significance is enormous. Under the invitation of the Night Academy, generally no one would refuse. The Queen Mother of the West reminded Yifan it was a pity he wouldn't go. She also said the Night Academy shouldn't be judged by appearances alone. Each sacred land can only send to people. Even the immortal dynasty is the same. You can imagine the level of strength required for those selected. Even the weakest among them are saint sons and saints, another elder told Yifan. Maybe one day, he would think otherwise. The vast eastern wilderness and the boundless manor, Zhou, isn't very big either. The Night Academy might open another window for Yifan, although somewhat tempted. He doesn't want to become a place of importance. Once entering the Night Academy, it would be like proving to the world that he is unharmed. At that time, an unparalleled emperor might suddenly appear and secretly eliminate him directly. Central Plain's ancient times are distant. The mad old man's prestige is unnecessary. Yifan ultimately refused their kind offer. Although Yifan didn't want to enter the Night Academy, Huairan and Niu Ku and a few others wanted to go. They asked how they could enter the Night Academy. An old man wearing a golden raincoat told them. They only need to defeat a saint's son. Jianghua said Yifan still had 7 chances to act. Why not help them each defeat a saint's son? The 3 elders of the Night Mansion were somewhat speechless. They glanced at them faintly, then stopped paying attention to Yifan and the others. Leaving this swamp city, He Huang soon forgot about the Night Mansion. He kept looking back every few steps, staring at those 3 dragon hills, drooling. This made the voice of the Queen Mother of the Western Jade Pool appear. Although peaceful, it made He Huang shiver. The Queen Mother told He Huang that if he came, the golden old dragon hill would suppress him into the Arctic Sea salt. In 2,000 years, He Huang said in a barely audible voice. He even ate one last time when he came before. After leaving the swamp, Li Hai Shui and the others all spoke up. It's a pity Yifan didn't go to the Night Mansion. They were still waiting for Yifan to wreak havoc there. If Yifan defeated all the major saint sons there, the king of Laya and others would also be proud. Then, incidentally, tease the eastern saintess and the central plains Juyin, the princess and the western end's female bodhisattva. What a delightfully carefree life that would be. Their daydreams left Yifan somewhat speechless, watching the Saint Prince trying to pull Huairan into this mansion. He said if Yifan doesn't go, then the Saint Prince would go with them. But the Saint Prince said he had no time. He had to go to the Divine Mustache to find the immortal Pandao tree. The Saint Prince had been pondering this matter. Hearing this, Li Haishui and the others gasped. The place inside the divine ruins is too sinister. Even ancient saints who entered never came out. They didn't expect the Saint Prince to want to go to the divine ruins. Yifan also thought it was too dangerous and ancient. Immediately tried to dissuade him, saying if the Saint Prince wanted to save someone, he could give him a Saint Mother token. Arriving at a deserted place of stone, Yifan took out a fruit shaped like a small cauldron and handed it to him. The Saint Prince's eyes shot out a blade-like light. The holy Prince Jingjing shot out a blade-like light. He immediately recognized it as divine. The 9 temples immortal phoenix of the Qinyi clan.